Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick them apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
According to the whispers, Tyson Fury surprised everyone as he suddenly crashed the Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul press conference, instantly shifting the mood across the room. With cameras watching, Fury delivered a fierce warning to Joshua, insisting that Jake Paul is far more dangerous than anyone imagines. He even argued Paul carries the power, discipline, and self-belief to pull off a stunning upset. Fury pushed it further, saying he would stake £1 million on Jake Paul to defeat Joshua. A claim that sent shock tremors across fans and pundits everywhere as well.
Talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky. I like how Jake Paul calls that full spectrum from featherweight.
Anthony Joshua fired back swiftly at Tyson Fury's daring £1 million bet on Jake Paul supposedly knocking him out. Joshua stressed that he isn't shaken by wild bets or outside chatter and that his true focus is himself and finishing the mission inside the ring. He brushed off the wager as meaningless, saying he chooses to trust himself rather than gamble or get pulled deep into the hype. Joshua made it known he's training to fight, secure his paycheck, and move forward with interest in betting drama or outside forecasts.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
He did say he's going to put £1 million on it. Would you be willing to take that bet with Tyson Fury?
Respectfully, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm going to collect my check, cash it, and I'm going to focus on the next one. My bet is on me doing a number on it.
Jake Paul remains convinced that he could overcome Joshua, insisting that Anthony Joshua falters when facing smaller rivals, giving him what he sees as an edge in the clash. Analysts, including a commentator called Henry on a podcast, have dissected Joshua's bouts with shorter challengers, observing trends in his showings. Though Paul points to a supposed weakness, the breakdown explains that Joshua's polished technique, power, and long reach usually balance out size gaps. The conversation fuels the wider argument about how physical contrasts shape results. Yet Joshua's seasoned background and preparation still render him a daunting obstacle despite Paul's talk.
I'll tell you what, Anthony Joshua definitely doesn't struggle, and that's against guys who are of a similar stature to him. When he won his first world title against Charles Martin, he was a taller heavyweight, not taller than AJ necessarily, but a heavyweight of taller stature, and he got that one with a very simple knockout. It was one of the easiest fights of Anthony Joshua's career. He had a war against Vladimir Klitschko, but again, he was highly competitive and eventually managed to get Klitschko out of there. In the Kubrat-Pulev fight, while it was a mixed performance, he did end up producing one of his best knockouts. Similarly against Robert Helenius, whilst AJ probably didn't put in one of his best performances again, it ended in another dramatic knockout. He was punch perfect against Otto Wallen, in my opinion, and he had that absolutely devastating knockout win against Francis Ngannou, who, of course, an absolutely enormous man with a fantastic chin, or so it seemed until Anthony Joshua got his hands on him. Even earlier on in his career against the likes of White, Brazil, and Molina, these were all taller heavyweights who AJ dealt with consummate ease. Of course, most recently he had that loss against Daniel Dubois, but we can't say that Daniel Dubois is a...
Jake paints himself as a fearless contender, ready to face any challenge. But beneath the swagger, it's obvious he understands the massive size gap ahead. He jokes about needing to look up just to meet Joshua's eyes. Still, he tries to project the same energy and confidence he brings before every big moment. He wants everyone to believe that pure belief can carry him against a fighter who has worn major belts and beaten top-tier opponents. Jake frames the task as a lesson for young fighters, suggesting that stepping up against someone this imposing reflects courage and ambition.
You, Anthony Joshua, how we doing?
Dude, never been better. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I manifested into reality. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
And the Schmo interviewed you there. When you fought Gib, it was on Fight TV. We've been with you along the way. Not very many times you're looking up at a face-off. So what did you make of looking up for one of the very first times at a face-off right here?
Just looking up at Daddy there and just seeing, how big he is, and just my eyes were kind of going into his nipples and stuff, which I kind of liked. And then basically I was just like, whoa, he's big in that. And then, I can't believe how tall he is.
Is this chain really on the line for the winner?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I'm down. But he has to put something up too. There has to be something in it for me.
You say this is the biggest upset that's going to be in boxing history, right up there with 42-1 with Buster Douglas.
Yep.
What is the headline going to be when you knock this guy out and he's laying on the canvas?
Matchroom CEO Frank Smith stirred new debate around the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul showdown, insisting the event feels more like theater than true competition. He claimed that rather than representing an authentic boxing battle, the fight will unfold as a spectacle built purely for entertainment, not a meaningful measure of skill. Smith hinted that what supporters receive is crafted to spark shock instead of upholding boxing's deeper competitive standards. By presenting it as heightened entertainment, he raised concerns over how real or genuinely competitive the matchup might be. Smith further noted he remains confident that a Fury-Joshua clash could still happen. He described the matchup as the biggest fight yet to be made, voicing hope that by 2026, the long-awaited collision will finally take shape. At the same time, Smith warned that boxing is loaded with talk and that not every hyped showdown becomes reality, suggesting that although the prospect thrills fans, logistical and contractual significant obstacles persist.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here, a lot of people saying this can't be real, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua, just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People ask him, why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. But we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this. And I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury. And Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026.
Joe Rogan believes the matchup is wildly perilous, calling it one of the craziest fight scenarios in recent memory. He stresses that Joshua's size, power, and experience make him a genuinely intimidating threat for Paul, a former champion with Olympic pedigree and proven knockout strength. Rogan doubts any contractual quirks will reduce Joshua's danger, saying such measures cannot neutralize his power or skill. Rogan has said that Jake Paul should watch what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou, pointing to Joshua's knockout of Ngannou as a vivid demonstration of just how dangerous Joshua can be. Rogan argues that Ngannou's defeat is a warning sign for Paul. Stepping into the ring with Joshua isn't just a challenge. It could end badly.
Paul Anthony Joshua.
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk. And Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice. But Francis Ngannou is coming off of this fight with, go a little bit before that so we can see this happen. Watch this.
Highlights. We just can't watch the whole fight.
So he drops him with a right hand early, And this is like 2 minutes into the first round. And Francis gets up, he survives, and then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man. It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. Just think about what we said earlier. Fought Usyk twice, fought Andy Ruiz.
Brendan Shaw and Brian Callen have recently voiced serious doubts about Jake Paul's mindset going into the fight with Anthony Joshua. They argue that Paul's casual bravado and bold callouts may betray a lack of real appreciation for how dangerous Joshua really is. According to them, Paul risks severely underestimating the threat, his relative inexperience and the steep jump in competition could prove disastrous. While some praise Paul's courage, Shaw and Callen believe this fight demands respect, discipline, and a sober assessment of risk qualities that they worry Paul may be overlooking. Several analysts have suggested that Jake Paul might have a real chance of knocking out Anthony Joshua in their bout.
Sparring, getting hit, that you just know. You're talking about Olympic gold medalist. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Joshua is. They see him against Usyk or they see him against, Ruiz, and they're like, oh, he lost. And they think somehow that because he's nice, that he's not an absolute killer.
I don't think everyone knows that, B.
A lot of people are like,
You're hanging out with the wrong people then. I mean.
6'6", 245. Let me just say this. It's a different ecosystem. Look, Jake's a thick kid. 227 is a lot. It's heavy. He's big. He's athletic. But this is different. You're not Usyk. You ain't Usyk.
Jesus.
You're talking about a very different athlete.
Do you want me to go now?
Please.
With all your rambling here?
Please.
Dude, first of all, before I go in on the cojones on Jake Paul, you have got to.
That's what I said.
Whatever the fuck your criticism of the guy is, whatever. The cojones, the huevos on this fucking kid.
I agree.
To step in there with fucking Anthony Joshua is insane. He deserves all the money.
With 14 ounce.
And what he's doing is flipping boxing on its fucking head. And this is exactly what he's there for. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Kudos to him. Kudos to him.
100%.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300
I'm very
pounds
aware
of
of
shredded.
this.
What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
High level professional. High level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, he's
it's not a physical thing,
bigger.
It's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying it's a fake fight. It's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10-ounce
which is a big deal, and it's 8 3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
That's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out. But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as serious.
One notable voice is former world champion and trainer Buddy McGirt, who views the fight as surprisingly competitive given Paul's growth as a heavyweight. McGirt sees the matchup as close to an even contest, citing both fighter size, reach, and punching power as factors that could swing the fight in either direction. He notes that in heavyweight boxing, a single well-placed shot can dramatically change the outcome, which allows an underdog like Paul to capitalize on any opening. While many still consider Joshua the clear favorite based on experience and pedigree, McGirt and other analysts emphasize that Paul's dedication, recent progress, and fearlessness in the ring create a scenario where a knockout, though unexpected, remains within the realm of possibility.
Jake Paul is going to win this fight by knockout. You would think I'm absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, it can happen. 10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, mate. Anthony Joshua is an absolute beast, an unbelievable, highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced professional boxer with power in both hands, and he's really good at finishing people off. And even though I really take my hat off for Jake Paul for taking this fight, I didn't really want to take it because of what's going to happen in the result of this fight, and I want to keep on this Jake Paul train. I think he's doing great, and I love his ambition. I love that he's trying to become a world champion and following his dreams and believing in himself. But at a certain point, you bite off more than you can chew. And this right here, he's bit.
The fight has drawn massive attention, and treating it as a fully professional showdown carries real weight for both men. Joshua has hinted that he won't unleash his full power, taking deliberate care to avoid putting Paul in serious danger. It's a measured approach that shows he understands the responsibility that comes with his strength, even as he stays true to the standards of elite boxing. He's trying to strike the perfect balance, fighting with intensity while protecting his opponent, respecting both the sport and the moment. By managing his timing and power, Joshua keeps the bout authentic and structured rather than reckless, still giving fans a contest worth watching. In the end, his approach highlights the two guiding forces of the event: fierce competition and unwavering safety.
In terms of the fight itself, all we know is that we're being told from those people that this is a fully professional boxing contest. I'd like to see the small print, to be totally honest with you, but that's what we're being told. We're being told that it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We're being told that they're going to use 10-ounce gloves, which are far too fucking small for Anthony Joshua to hit you in the face with when you're there. Listen, Jake's a good novice. Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50 if you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round, he hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controls every second of this fight.
What do you feel? Could Jake Paul truly pull off an upset against Anthony Joshua, or is the size and experience gap simply overwhelming? Share your thoughts down in the comments below.